What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you, but this one will be a live auction draft, a 12-team half PPR mock on Yahoo. Should be really, really interesting. If you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section any questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's kick it off. The draft is about to start. The nominations are about to commence, and we will do our best to, like all auction drafts, keep a eye out on these nominations, on good deals, on stuff like that, but also obviously talk strategies, talk the do's, the don'ts of the auction draft process, and talk just best practices, things like that. So right now, for example, Christian McCaffrey, $76. I like McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong. I think if you get him for under $70, that would be a pretty good deal. But I think getting somebody like a Breece Hall or a Bijan Robinson, where the separation isn't that much between Christian McCaffrey and them, for maybe $10 less or maybe even $15 less, could present itself as a little bit of a better value. Now, for what it's worth, we don't have too many people on auto bid, so I'm hoping that this should be pretty close to realistic, and we're not seeing any craziness, any super inflated prices, or any crazy deals. But first two nominations were McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, who went for $67. Now, Saquon Barkley here, nominated a little bit earlier than expected. Let's see how this plays out. His average value, $47. Will somebody go for 48, 49? Maybe it'll get to 50. So, this tends to be my problem when you nominate somebody. This doesn't really count, I would say, because Saquon Barkley is still end of the first round selection, early second round selection. But this is why I always say, and this is, where we're getting into talking strategies of the auction draft process. Don't nominate necessarily maybe guys that you think could be steals or better values earlier on, just because, here a lot of this is psychology with the auction draft process, with the bidding process. When people have the most money, which is going to be at the start of the draft naturally, right? That is when people tend to spend their funds. That is when they tend to spend more money. If you have more money, there's a higher chance that, at that point in time when you're given the opportunity, you're going to spend it. So here we have a chance to land Breece Hall. I like that situation. I'm going to put in $1. And of course, somebody goes from I bid 65, it went to 68, now it's up to 69. So maybe we go for Bijan Robinson instead. I think he was going to go for right around the same value, so it shouldn't be too bad. Now, again, getting back to the idea of the strategies of the auction draft process, the one thing that I can appreciate with these auction drafts, yes, it is a longer video, so our typical snake draft, maybe 15 minutes. Here, this might be a 40-minute video, but we're going to talk a lot of different things. And one of the things that I like to stress with the auction drafts early on, nominate guys that are expensive that you do not want. What is that going to do? That's going to force other people, aka your competition, to spend up big money on those guys. That's going to lessen their funds. And then when it actually does come to a player that you're high on, you have a better chance than your competition to land that person. Now here, let's see. Maybe we miscalculated. Maybe Breece Hall will go for more, will go for less, than Bijan Robinson, because it already went up to 65. Again, it's an auto bid, so there are a couple auto bids. What that AI typically tends to do is, bump it up like that unnecessarily. So again, it went from 66 to 69. It's typically not that high of a jump. So, all right, Bijan goes for the exact same price as Breece, 69. But I'm not sweating it too much. There's other players, other running backs that I like a Jahmyr Gibbs, like a Jonathan Taylor at the running back position. But we do have to be careful here with the tier drops, because that's another thing in these auction drafts with the tier drops. You don't want to get in a situation where all of a sudden you realize that you're bidding on that last upper echelon tier player. And the reason that I say that is how you get to overpaying really for a player. You know, you can always be conservative. You can always follow that type of strategy. But the problem with that strategy is oftentimes, if you wait until the last minute, if you wait a little bit too late, right, for a player, and there's multiple people that want him because they realize that price drop is or that tier drop is coming, that price is going to get inflated. So a lot of this is timing, right? Here I'm going to nominate Justin Jefferson. He's a guy. Actually, I'm going to nominate Puka Nacua. I think he is somebody right now that's a little bit banged up, that is going for a lot of money, and I wouldn't be shocked if Cooper Kupp ends up having just as good of a season as him. He's also expensive, going to fetch for close to $50. And I think there's other wide receivers that are on that level. So here, yeah, he goes for $49. I think that was a good nomination. I didn't want him. So to me, this is a win-win. Force somebody else to go ahead and spend up big. Kyron Williams now just got nominated. I think $50 for Kyron Williams is too steep. But hey, that's just me. I'd be looking at Jahmyr Gibbs. I'd be looking at Jonathan Taylor ahead of him, where their projected prices aren't that much bigger than his. So right now, it might seem like we're taking this slow, like we're being super conservative and waiting for the big names to go. But look, I challenge you. You could still, we can still build a roster that's very aggressive and has multiple, first round selections or like late first round selections on this team, and have that type of competing roster. Jamar Chase here is going to go for, looks like $67. So a lot of these players have been going for more than I expected. So when that's the case, you just got to keep an eye out for any values. Basically, you just have to stay very in tune with the auction draft process, right? But I keep talking about, having a certain type of draft strategy. So the way I like to break it down in the auction draft process is you can be aggressive, you can be balanced, or you can be conservative. So when I say aggressive, like that means landing multiple first round picks if it was a snake draft. Because right, the beauty of the auction draft is if you want, you could land Christian McCaffrey and Breece Hall, where that would never happen in a snake draft, right? But you're going to pay the price for it afterwards, because that's probably going to cost you around $140. You're going to be down to $60. So you're down to, what is that, 30% of your funds for just two players. And there's going to be big gaps on the rest of your roster. You got to fill out 13 other spots with $30. That is tough. So keep those things in mind. There's something, to being aggressive, but there's obviously something to being way too aggressive. It's a fine line, but I would say the experienced auction draft individual can toe that line. And typically, if you find a good balance for it, I've seen being aggressive, the strategy that can really be one of the more beneficial ones and really helps you stand out. But again, if you're just getting into the auction draft type of process and it's your first time being in that type of league, it can burn you a little bit, because your money can you can say bye to your money a lot quicker than you anticipated. That's why I kind of say, all right, if it's your first time, be balanced. Employ a balanced type of strategy, and what that means is basically landing one type of first round talent, one second round type of talent, one third round type of talent. So basically treat it almost as if it's a auction draft type of snake draft type of process. So, man, these bots here are really screwing us with these unnecessary price jumps. So again, going from 50 to 56, that doesn't really happen. So yeah, the people that are on auto bid, they go unnecessarily aggressive. So the price for Jahmyr Gibbs is also it's gonna be the same here. That's why I kind of want to nominate. I'm hoping Derrick Henry gets nominated here next, and we can bait somebody out to bid on him. So right now we're still at $200. Travis Etienne, okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. Hopefully this goes for around $40 with some type of auto bid, and then we can again force other people to, there we go, up to $40. That's what you want to see. And they're going to have a lot less bidding power. We don't have to worry about this individual that's going to be down to potentially $27, $26 afterwards. But, oh no, there's another individual live bidder that gets ETN for $41. So again, a lot of these players have been going for more than their projected value. So every single auction draft has its own flavor. And as you can see, this is one where it is, it's expensive. It's on the expensive side. So maybe here when it gets to our turn, if the guys that we want haven't been nominated, I'm going to start nominating some of these kind of middle echelon guys that are still expensive, that I don't want, that other people can be in on. Like Mike Evans going for $39. I think that's a little bit of a high price tag. Let's see who this next individual. 54 immediately right out the gate. 55, 57. Is AJ Brown going to get up to $60? 58, 59. Yeah, he's going to get to 60. AJ Brown's getting to $60. Man, it's really interesting here. So, all right, we've accepted the fact that we're going to have to pay up for one of these talents. That's just the way it goes. I always say somebody, to some extent, oh my gosh, where did that come from? From 41 to 56, that was so unnecessary. Jesus Christ. All right, well, look, I want to get Garrett Wilson, and it's up to 57. Wow. I thought that A.J. Brown for 58, for 59 was too much, but wow. Look at this thing go. Okay, well, wow. We're putting ourselves here, I guess, for a little bit more of a conservative build, but again, there's something said to not forcing some of these selections, not overpaying by this much. Everyone has overpaid for these players by like $10. And again, you got to change your mentality. Like if this is how it goes, okay, it means you're gonna overpay a little bit, but do it a little bit, not to this extreme. Because here we're going to, I'm going to get Jahmyr Gibbs for sure, the way this thing is going. And I'm just curious what his price will be set at. The way this is going, he's going to go for like $58 would be my assumption. But who knows? Derrick Henry went for 50. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the next nomination for sure. Yeah, there he goes. Offer $2. And it's going to just jump to, a crazy amount. But let's kind of stay involved in it. So it looks like the good news is it's between me and another live drafter. So we're not going to hopefully have any shenanigans. So this person is the guy that got Garrett Wilson for a lot of money. But good news is, again, we are in a better situation in regards to being able to land Jahmyr Gibbs. Because we have more money than this person, right? $52. How much you want to overpay, buddy? 53, that's fine. That's fine. And again, this is, I'm kind of happy that this is happening because it it is showing what I was saying before. You get to that last tier of a player, and it's going to lead to some overpays here. But again, in the grand scheme of things, projected value 47. We get him for $7 more. I'm going to force somebody to get Devontae Adams. I'm not in on Devontae Adams. I think that he's way too big of a risk. So there you go. Somebody's going to get him for 40, maybe a little bit more. I was going to say, is there anyone even still at $200? No. After we selected Jahmyr Gibbs, nobody still has $200. So looks like Devontae Adams is going to go for $40 straight. And this is that inflection point. I think we've finally gotten to that point where there's not going to be as many overpays. So the draft kind of now hitting that second, that inflection point. Isaiah Pacheco, he's a player that I think could be a really good value. I want to get another running back. So let's see how this goes. He could go for a decent amount here. Again, it's between some players that need running backs by the looks of it. This person still needs their first running back. This person wants a second running back. So I'm assuming right here we're going to be is going to be more aggressive. Wow, it's already going up. The prices 47, 48, 49. Whew, boy. Is it going to get up to 50 for Pacheco? It will not. It will. Okay, it does not. It doesn't quite reach 50, but Gibbs and Pacheco both right around $50. Man, people are overpaying for the running back position right now, kind of realizing where they're at. I'm glad we got Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to load up here on Drake London, maybe on Chris Olave, some of these other names. Marvin Harrison went for $50. And this is where, again, what I try to advise people when we're talking strategies, in a snake format, I say don't go into it with a set mindset, right? Don't go into it with a set strategy like I'm going to have to draft a running back. I'm going to have to draft a wide receiver specifically in the first round. Let the draft come to you, go best player available. In an auction draft, it's a little bit different. Knowing the type of strategy you want to employ when it comes to bidding, that's going to help you. That is going to help you manage your funds for later on, and that's a really, really big deal, because you can also get into trouble when you start, going in between different types of strategies. So, like, if I start being very, let's say, I'm gonna be balanced, right? I kind of just want to be right in the middle, but then going from balanced to like aggressive or to conservative, it's tough because it changes the way you are, you're bidding, and it's going to be really, really tough. Here, oh my God, why was Kenneth Gainwell just nominated? That makes zero sense. All right, well, this person's going to get him for $1, I guess. No, $2. Okay, cool. Jesus Christ. So we got Drake London during that for $34. All things considered, I think decent value. I think his average price was $33, so we got him for $1 more. We're going to start getting some values now. So I've got Jahmyr Gibbs as my RB1. I've got Drake London as my wide receiver 1. Could be better in that situation. Could definitely be better. But I'm going to try and load up on some, high upside wide receivers here that are still left and hopefully be in a good situation. And I think we're probably going to be following a balanced approach here. That's the way it's leading. It's looking. And again, I say know what strategy you want to go into. If you're a little bit more of a seasoned auction drafter, that does allow for you to have some more flexibility to let the draft come to you a little bit more, and to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna, this is how I'm gonna treat it. I can have a little bit more flexibility with different types of strategies. But again, I only really recommend that for people that have more experience with the auction drafts, because it can tend to backfire. Also, another thing that I like to say is, we're doing this specific auction draft on Yahoo here. Practice on the specific platform you are going to be drafting on come draft day for you with your league mates, right? Because, man, I'm telling you, the prices are very different from site to site. So, like from NFL to Yahoo to ESPN, it's different, folks. Just because you can put together, let's say, one team here on Yahoo does not mean you're going to be able to put together that exact same team on ESPN, and you're going to be, you might be kicking yourself because you're saying, "Oh boy, how did this happen? How did all of a sudden I can't afford this exact same wide receiver one, this exact same running back one, something like that." So for that reason, just keep that in mind. Practice the majority of your drafts on your specific platform. Get familiar, get comfortable with the prices there. So, like right now, this person here, he's going to probably win Chris Olave for $40. His squad is CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave. I'm not counting Kenneth Gainwell because that's not a real pick. CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, and Travis Kelce. He has $13 left to to fill out 10 spots, which means basically right around $1 per pick, some close to that, right? And then Travis Etienne is not a real running back, or excuse me, Kenneth Gainwell is not a real running back, so you still need another running back here. You spent way too much on tight end. You need another flex. You're going to want a solid wide receiver. What happens if somebody gets hurt, right? So there's all these issues here. This person went way, 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 way too aggressive, and especially with the overpays, kind of got hurt by it. And so for that reason, this is, I think, a perfect example of what you don't want to do. Deebo Samuel here is going to go for right around $31, $32. Okay, that's fine. I'm not super, super big on the pass catchers in San Francisco, just way too many mouths to feed. So right now we have $112. I always like to, do these periodical checks of how we are looking compared to our competition with our funds. So I believe we're in second place right now. 111, 13, 104, 90, 32, 46, 101, 82, 31. Yeah, this person has $124 left. Okay, it's our turn to nominate somebody nice. I'm going to immediately nominate Josh Allen. I have zero interest in landing him. He's way too expensive. I hope this goes for right around $30. That's what I want. So right now, I think we can still load up on some wide receivers like a DJ Moore, like a Jalen Waddle, and be okay. So I'm just going to go through some of these rosters while we wait to see like if I'm worried about any of these guys. So this person has Deebo and Garrett Wilson. They've got right around the same amount of money as me. Not super worried about this squad. This person with a CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, Etienne, and Kelce. I think this is a really bad build. Let's continue on. Mike Evans, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I like Jonathan Taylor, but I think you overpaid for Mike Evans. You've got $100 left. Okay. This person with 58. He's got Nico, Kyren Williams, Joe Mixon, Achane. Could be good if Achane and Nico Collins both hit. Yeah, it could be good. But, I have my doubts about Achane. I think Joe Mixon's getting up there. This person's got a lot of players that I'm just like, I think can go either way in regards to being, boom or bust. So this is a little bit too risky for my liking. Let's see here what happens. Josh Jacobs was just nominated. I want to make sure that I'm keeping track of the running backs that are still left that are good values. So I can get in here for $25 on Josh Jacobs. I'm fine with that. Alvin Kamara here on Yahoo is a really good value at this potential price. Oh, I'm going to get Josh Jacobs for $25. All things considered, that's a good value. Okay, DJ Moore. Getting somebody like a DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle would be nice. He's going to go for more money than than is necessary in my opinion. Okay. So let's see if, yeah, 28. Yeah, nobody got in on DJ Moore. Okay, well, I've got Jahmyr Gibbs, I've got Josh Jacobs, I've got Drake London. But let's continue to going through the rest of these teams. So this person has Puka, Bijan, Derrick Henry. I mean, I really like Bijan. I'm not the biggest fan of Derrick Henry in PPR scoring. And then Puka Nacua, I think, is just an overpay. And he has $32 left. So could be better. This person, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley. I like this trio. I do like this trio. We'll see what you do with your running back 2 spot, but I like it so far. I think so far this person has one of the better teams. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, all wide receivers. What are you going to do at running back, sir? That's my question to you. Devontae Adams also, I think, a bit of a risky pick. So here I'm going to get in on Jalen Waddle. I like the upside. And I want to get another wide receiver. High upside wide receiver. Are we going to be able to land him? Who knows? So notice, we were a little bit quieter to begin with, but we have kind of turned it around. The last couple of selections, nominations, we've gotten really involved. And like right now, again, we've got that RB1 in Jahmyr Gibbs. We've got Josh Jacobs, not a huge gap between the two. I think we've got enough money to still land like an Alvin Kamara type. We've got, I think, 2 high upside wide receivers in Drake London and Jalen Waddle. Sure, would I have liked if my wide receiver 1 was Garrett Wilson? Yeah, definitely. But again, I think there's something to be said when those guys were all going for $10 more than was projected to being patient. So here, Jalen Hurts is going to go for probably mid-20s. I'm totally fine with that. Go crazy. We can get another running back here. So a James Cook, a Rashad White, I mentioned them. I do want to get another solid wide receiver. Maybe somebody like a Malik Neighbors, high upside rookie. Let's look at these other wide receivers. Pittman is a good value, even though I think if you're looking for Pittman to do what he did last year, you're going to be disappointed. Anthony Richardson, not exactly as great of a passer of the football as a Gardner Minshew, I would argue. So that's something to consider. I think T. Higgins here is really underpriced. Christian Kirk is really underpriced. Calvin Ridley is really underpriced. So these are all players that I like that I don't think, honestly, the separation between them and Michael Pittman is all that much. So this is where doing your research on the players and on the pricings beforehand can be a real advantage, because like if you're okay with one of these guys as your wide receiver 2 or your wide receiver 3, then what's the difference between waiting on a Michael Pittman and a Calvin Ridley or a Christian Kirk or a T. Higgins? Like, just go ahead. Wait a little bit longer for T. Higgins, and you're probably going to be able to get him for a lot cheaper. So this is something I don't like. Rashee Rice just got nominated, and I think this is, again, a perfect example. Why nominate Rashee Rice right now where you're going to have to overpay for him, as opposed to force somebody to spend on Devonta Smith and Michael Pittman first? That's going to allow you to have a better chance of landing the Rashee Rices, the T. Higginses of the world, for their actual projected value. Now, instead, he's getting upbid, which, I mean, a lot of this is timing. It really is timing for when these players are nominated. So you need to understand that. That's why, again, I always say, nominate the players that you don't want that are more expensive. Force those other people to spend up. So Devonta Smith here, yeah, see, automatically goes up to $20. There's no reason Rashee Rice should have been for the $15 price. Now, again, there's going to be situations where certain players are undervalued. I get that. And then naturally your league mates, if they're in tune with that, are going to drive up the price to a more acceptable value. But, I mean, I don't think that was necessarily one of those examples. I think Alvin Kamara would be a little bit of a better example of that. Lamar Jackson now is going to go, hopefully goes for right around $20. So let's do another price budget check, I should say. So we're no longer like in second place. This person has 83, 13, 84, 43, 32, 46, 51. We're at 62, 61. Rashad White just got nominated. Okay. Let's see what price he goes for. We need another running back. Question is, do we want to go with him? Do we want to go with... I think him for this price is a good value, potentially for $17. I also like James Cook. Oh, well, I was going to say it's a good value, but then it went up to $20. Yeah, okay, let one of these guys have it. Let's continue on with the roster comparisons. We looked at the squad last, I believe, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley. Ooh, our turn to nominate somebody. Yeah, automatically, I'm not even waiting. I'm nominating Michael Pittman. Hope somebody bids this up to $20. And yep, all right, 17, it'll close enough. So there we go. Hopefully there's a little bit of a mini bidding war. So yeah, this side, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, I like it. I like it. Let's see what they do with the rest of their players. Next up, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. You've got the little stack. Devontae Adams, DJ Moore. Not bad, I mean, with the people that you have, but I think you overspent on a quarterback, and you have 0 running backs. That's going to be a problem. This person is going to be hurting for the running backs. They're going to be overbidding on the running backs that are still left. This person, Breece Hall, Pacheco, David Montgomery. I like Montgomery, but I think you overspent on him when he's, again, like a lower-end flex player. I get the upside, so I totally get that. You also have 0 wide receivers. Again, while I do like the running backs, it is still a PPR league. You need those wide receivers. Next up, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Brendan Ayuk. So you went real heavy on the wide receivers, but again, I think you're gonna see some problems at the running back position. But hey, maybe you can turn it around. The problem is you got $31, and you might win Patrick Mahomes for $20, which means you're down to $11 to fill out the rest of your squad. That's a little bit problematic. So James Cook just got nominated, $18. This person has McCaffrey, Josh Allen, Sam Laporta. They've got $70. Let's see who's left at the running back position. So at running back, Kenneth Walker, I'll bid $22 on James Cook. Let's see if we can land him for that. I think he'd be a very solid running back 3 on this team. Yeah, let's see if this person even has a running back. No, they don't have a running back. I bet you we can force this person to overpay. I bet you we can. Yeah, okay. Let's have a little bit of fun. This is where you can really put the pressure on somebody. I bet you it goes, I would assume it goes to 27. Yeah. See, this is what happens. And I bet you if we went to 28, he'd be real close to, but I don't want to risk it at that point. We made him bid up to spend a couple more dollars than he would have liked. So that's where you play that game of how desperate is somebody. Malik Neighbors here for $16 could be a good value. So, okay, he's going to try and get Malik Neighbors as well. That's fine. Go ahead and nab him. That's not fixing your running back problem. So this person, Amon-Ra, Marvin Harrison, you need running backs, folks. Kenneth Walker. Ooh, okay. How much is Kenneth Walker going to go for? If he goes for less than like 16, 17, I'll get in on it. 17? Can we win him for that much money? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. There's going to be a bidding war, folks, on Alvin Kamara. I'm telling you, because he's a name. People recognize him. Yeah, see, both these players, they want another running back. This person still needs their first running back. Come on, bid it up. You know you want to. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. And immediately, the trigger goes to the 22, 23. Yeah, and they've got money left. So you know what? I'm gonna see. Yeah. It's again another example. How much do you want to overpay for that next running back? I'll let him have it for that money, for $24. And again, just like that, we're in the driver's seat with these with our budget. So I think the last couple of nominations were good examples of how you can play. You paying attention to your opponent's rosters can lead to an advantage, and you can force them to overspend on certain players. Because again, this person did not have a running back. Kenneth Walker might have gone for 15, 16 bucks. Instead, we bid him up and we forced this guy to probably spend $6, $7 extra more than he wanted to on Kenneth Walker. Alvin Kamara here is going to be an interesting player. I bet you he's going to go in the mid-20s because I want to get him as well. You know, he's a high upside PPR type of talent. So let's see what we can do here. And, you know, I'm looking at some other players. We're going to add a couple more players, but then we're going to kind of wrap this thing up because, again, these tend to be longer videos already. And it's a situation where I think most of these people are going to be on auto pick, so you're not going to get too much out of it. Anthony Richardson, here, just go to the highest bidder. That's completely fine. I think, again, you know, part of what's even more valuable in these longer auction drafts, not necessarily seeing like us filling out the complete roster. It's getting a chance to see the in-draft process, the thinking, the talking of the strategies. Again, some of that live bidding, and then you know, I think that's kind of at the forefront. So right now, Ramondre Stevenson went for $7. I mean, I had zero interest in Ramondre Stevenson. That's fine. Jordan Love, okay, that's okay. Go ahead, go get Jordan Love. Completely fine with that. No real interest there. So right now, yeah, there's gonna be a fight. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a fight for Alvin Kamara. I might nominate just first somebody like a James Conner or you know, maybe like a Raheem Mostert, Aaron Jones type of guy. I think Jonathan Brooks here is a really good value. If you want, and I should say, where is he before? Yeah, so he might go for like $2-3 if you're looking at this. I think he's going to go for more, but he's a name that's buried down because he's going to start on the pup list, but he definitely has high upside. So landing him on a roster like this might be pretty beneficial. Amari Cooper goes for $16. That's cool. All right. I'm waiting for like the T. Higgins type of guys, like the McLaurins, and we're getting close to it. We're getting close to it. So yeah, I think here, when it's all said and done, we've probably done a balanced approach, right? We've got our RB1, we've got a high upside wide receiver in Drake London, we've got a proven guy in Jalen Waddle, we've got a Josh Jacobs winning on an improved team, and now we're going to have some really good depth as well. Trey McBride here is going to go for, yeah, probably that upper price of $15, but I'm looking at somebody like a Dalton Kincaid, who I also really like, and, you know, that could go for, I mean, I don't want to say half the price, but yeah, still. Okay, it's our turn to nominate somebody. Who do I nominate? Let's nominate James Conner. Let's see somebody go in for James Conner. I want to see one of these players, one of these guys that needs a running back to bid up James Conner, or maybe he'll just go for $7. Who knows? Could have also just bid Kyler Murray, just the next most expensive player. But looks like, yeah, okay. Well, James Conner will go for $7. I thought that there was going to be a little bit more of a bidding, but looks like the people that still need a running back, they have a specific running back in mind. Disclaimer, spoiler, it's Alvin Kamara. A lot of people have their eyes set on Alvin Kamara right now, so whenever you see that Alvin Kamara name, get those trigger fingers ready. We're going to be bidding. Let's see who the nomination here is. Kamara, T. Higgins, I'm hoping it's one of them. Oh, Kyler Murray, okay, nothing, yeah, whatever. And then again, most of these players, again, are on auto pick at this point in time. He wants to get the stack between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison. That's funny. And then, yeah, it's going to lead to him going for more money than he probably should. Okay. Let's see. Mark Andrews was just nominated. That's fine. I'm looking at Dalton Kincaid. So getting, a high upside guy at the tight end position. I'll be able to get a high upside guy at the quarterback position if I want to. I think I can get CJ Stroud for a good value, honestly, the way this thing is going. $11. And yeah, we by far and away have the most amount of money left right now. So we can kind of control how this goes. I think we can get Alvin Kamara. I think we can get and a T. Higgins and a Dalton Kincaid and a CJ Stroud. And all of a sudden, this roster looks pretty solid. So Tank Dell, not the exact guy that I wanted. I think we're going to see CJ Stroud or Alvin Kamara being nominated shortly. Let's see the max bids that these guys have. 20, 26. This guy has $50, but probably won't need a running back. 37. Could use a running back. Okay. Tank Dell went for that much. So who's going to be nominated next? Come on. Hopefully it's one of our guys so we can kind of round out this roster. You guys can see a little bit more of a complete picture. Maybe this will be Alvin Kamara here, if this person is still live nominating, which they might or might not be. We'll see. It looks like they are not. So Aaron Jones. Okay. $10 automatically. I'd rather have Alvin Kamara than Aaron Jones, to be honest with you. So even though $10 for Aaron Jones is a really good value, and we can probably get him for 11, but I'll go with Alvin Kamara. Okay. Now, who's this person going to nominate? Are they really like one of the only last live? Oh, there we go. T. Higgins. That's the guy I was hoping for. That is the guy I was waiting for. So we're going to get T. Higgins. I'm going to tell you right now. He's going to be our flex play. I feel pretty good about having T. Higgins as our flex option. Let's see if anyone else gets in on it. Yeah, okay. Even if we pay a little bit more, that's fine. So I think we're going to be able to get him for $11. That's really good value for T. Higgins. Hell yeah. Okay. We're down to $51. That's fine. Do we want to get CJ Stroud? Let's look at the other quarterbacks. Dak, Joe Burrow. I mean, we can probably get him for, he's still an upper echelon quarterback for this money. But then we're going to be a little bit limited on Alvin Kamara. Nah, let's pass. I think Joe Burrow with T. Higgins is also a nice choice with having that stack. So I want to get Alvin Kamara. Terry McLaurin also not a bad choice here, but I also want to have enough money for Dalton Kincaid. Right now we have $51. So Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins. I like the way this roster looks. Once we get Alvin Kamara, it's going to be even better. Then maybe a Jonathan Brooks as a late season guy, high upside running back. So yeah, this is why it's also important to have some money in the later portion of that auction draft, because there's still, as you can see, there's still some really good values here, and this is right around where they start going for a little bit smaller of a price than maybe you might be expecting. And yeah, 26, 13, 46, 16, 13, 33, 18, 51. We're still in first place with the most amount of money. So that means we're going to have a pretty solid potential bench as well, right? David Njoku goes for $3. That's fine. I don't really care about that. George Pickens, a solid choice here. Let's see how much he goes for. He'll go for $12, $13. I want to get Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is the cat I am waiting for. Get a third running back, right? Look pretty good, because I anticipate there's going to be a little bit of a bidding war on Alvin Kamara. And maybe it's gotten to the point where some people have signed off already, so the bidding war won't be as high as you might naturally expect. But yeah, I mean, like getting Alvin Kamara potentially for like $10, that's really good value. So, okay, this person is going to try and it's probably going to get up all the way to 18. That's fine. Yeah, and he needs another running back. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, you ain't getting them. You ain't getting them. And that's why this is where it pays off to have that money. Guess what? You ain't getting them either. Buddy, we can do this all day long. We can do this all day long. We're going to get Alvin Kamara. It's just as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You waited too long. Your funds just can't compare to ours. So $17. And I told you the price for Alvin Kamara would go up. I told you that would happen. And I told you that people were waiting for Alvin Kamara. Told you that was the last name, the last running back, 19. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this. Guess what? You can't afford him. You can't afford him. You can't afford him. Oh gosh. 23. Oh gosh, how did we not get that in on time? All right, doesn't matter. We forced this guy to basically spend all of his money that he had left. Yeah, to land Alvin Kamara. That's funny. I thought I was going to sneak that in at the last second, but I got a little bit too excited. All right, we let that one slip through. Call that what it is. Here, let's just get Dalton Kincaid. Nominate for $1. We're getting him. Like, it's not even close. I mean, maybe this person that has like $36 will be a pain, but no, we're getting Dalton Kincaid. So we have that taken care of. There's other good, like I said, Jonathan Brooks, a solid late type of season running back. That's fine, dude. That's fine. You need a tight end. It's not going to be Dalton Kincaid, though. It's not going to be Dalton Kincaid. So, yeah, we're going to land Dalton Kincaid here for $8. Really good value. Really, really good value. Deontay Johnson. He's another wide receiver that I like. We're down to $35. But I think we can kind of wrap this up here. For $5, that's a pretty good value. You know, him, Christian Kirk. All right, I'll just start building out that bench, right? Yeah, we need some bench players. He's a guy that I'm high on. That we can add Jonathan Brooks later. But that's kind of it. I think we did a good job here illustrating some of the different strategies, how you can force your opponent's hands, the different types of aggressive, balanced, or conservative approaches you can do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comments section any questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in future videos.